Welcome. This video is designed for investors who would like to invest in other people buying shared home ownership homes. So, in other words, two parties that want to get together to buy a home. Oftentimes, they're first time buyers and they are a little bit shy on the down payment, or they could use a little bit of a boost. And so, essentially, that's where I'm coming from with this video. I have a proposal for you as an investor, and it looks like this. I have a few slides to go over. And essentially, I'm going to suggest that you invest $100,000. And I'm also going to suggest that you can get paid 10% interest, and it can accrue and it can compound over 5 years. And at the end of that term, you can collect $61,000 in profit. So either the home gets sold after 5 years or it gets refinanced after 5 years, and you can take your money out. So you get $161,000 back. So I'm going to show you how all that works, um, based on a flat market and based on an increasing market. So next slide basically shows us where we would start. So on $1 million home, buyer puts down 75,000. You as an investor put down 100,000. So you've got 175,000 down payment. The mortgage would be starting at 725,000. If you bump that up to a $1.25 million home, the buyer puts down 100K, you put down 100K, 200,000 deposit. $1.5 million home, numbers change a little bit. The buyer needs to put down 300,000, and let's say the investor puts down 100,000. So these are what the numbers look like. The light blue is what the purchase looks like in a flat market. So it doesn't really go up. It's You're basically paying down the principal. So at the end of the term, you've got enough money to be able to pay back the investor. And then the other line, the dark blue line, is what it would look like at a 3% per year growth. Now, I know that home prices have gone up a lot in the last 5 years, and I just wanted to look into my crystal ball for a minute and say that property values probably aren't going to go up a huge amount. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. I won't get into that in this video, but um, there's a lot of reasons. There is a fair amount of inventory on the market right now in Victoria, but not a not too much. Over the years, it's probably about average over the last 10 years. So there's a good amount of inventory on the market. It is a good time to be buying because I believe that we've been coming down since 2022, and that it is a good time to be picking up some property. Uh, Even though property values probably will not go up that much, they will go up some. And some of the reasons basically are that Victoria is surrounded by water. So it's not like Calgary where you can just develop another quarter section of land. Here, what exists. If you've got a house with a yard, it might be an older house, but there's no more land to be able to put up houses on. And if you look at new construction prices these days, you're looking at probably a minimum of 1.5 million in the city, within the city of Victoria, and maybe even Saanich, to buy a property, take it down, build a new property, you're looking at probably about 1.5 million. So if your market, if you're looking in the market, say from 900,000 to 1.2, for instance, you're going to be stuck buying what's there. You're going to be buying an older house. So you'll be looking at potentially fixing it up, doing some renovations. And if you've got lots of money, happy to work with you as well to build a fourplex because pretty well all properties are zoned now for 4 units. So if the house is cheap enough to take down, you can consider it land value, but then you can actually build 4 units if you'd like. But my point is, land is very scarce in Victoria. They're building up as far as condos. Not everyone wants to live in the sky. Some people want their own yard, their own garden, for their kids and for their pets, for parking. So a lot of people are in the market that really want to have their own home. So Victoria market is going to continue to go up. I think it's going to be slow, but it'll be steady over time because there's a lot of other people wanting to move to Victoria from all other parts of Canada, for instance. Um, this chart talks about the 5-year payout capacity, so the flat market versus uh, the market going up. And flat market means that there's no increase in value at all. And I don't know of any time in the of a 5-year period where the market has actually gone down. So I don't expect that to happen, but I'm just giving you that scenario just as a safety line as an investor. So what's happening here is that the market, even on a flat market, you're still paying down principal on the loan. So there's still enough in year 5 to pay out the investor this money back with 10% uh, increase. So in $1 million home, flat market is you're going to have $163,000 of payout room based on the principal pay down. And if the market went up 3%, you'd be looking at about $290,000 of payout room. So, and then it just gets better, of course, more expensive the home is 1.25 mil. You got 324,000 as a buffer. And on a $1.5 million home, you've got 424,000 as a buffer. So these are the same figures I just went over, essentially showing you that your 10% investment is safe and how that all works with the graphs here. The takeaways, basically, I believe that the market is going to be stable and go up. And some of the reasons that I'll mention are that we have the seat of government here in Victoria. So the seat of the government for the province of British Columbia. So we have all the staff and all the people that work for the government. A lot of them work here in Victoria. We've got the navies here and all the support staff for the Navy, all the civilians as well that work on the base besides the Navy. We have the universities here, great universities, and people will pay to come here. We have high tech industries here, and many of them, and a lot of times we just don't see them or not aware of them. But there's over $3 billion worth of revenue created by the high tech industry here. Tourism used to be our number one. Now it's, I think, number two. But there's like over 350 cruise ships that come in, for example, in the summertime into the inner harbor. So we have an incredible tourism business here, and I don't see that changing very soon. We've also got what we call gray hairs. And I don't know how many other people call them that, but gray hairs are people that move into Victoria because of the weather, because we have some of the best weather in Canada. As a matter of fact, they say that we have the most mildest climate in Canada. So people are tempted to move here, especially when they see us golfing here in the winter, and they're all snowed in where they live. So at some point, people like to uproot themselves, as long as there's not too many grandchildren involved, obviously. But people come here and they have their money invested and they live off their investments. And so they're not taking from the economy, they're actually giving to the economy. So you have the nurses and the healthcare workers, and you've got people in the service industry who are cutting lawns and painting and um, changing gutters and things like that. So any home maintenance, the home maintenance service, they um, keep those people in business. So they are giving back to the economy rather than taking. So we've got um, that going for us as well in Victoria. So basically, as an investor, you have an opportunity to invest money in the shared home ownership program and help people get into the market. They might just be barely making it, or maybe they need a little bit of help, or maybe your money can get them over the 20% threshold and save them CMHC fees. Um, you would be considered an angel investor in those instances. So you can make 10%, you can help someone get into the market, and you can be a hero. So thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. And this video lives in school, skool.com. And you can look us up there if you're not a member. We'd love you to be a member. It's free. And we'll see you on the next video.